Every day, thousands of low-income individuals in New Jersey face the daunting task of dealing with their civil legal issues, but they don't have an attorney to help them. Well, there's an organization that's working to ensure access to an attorney and to justice. Hello, I'm Candace Kelley, and I'm joined by Cathy Keenan. She's the Executive Director of Volunteer Lawyers for Justice. Cathy, good to see you.
Thanks so much, Candace. It's great to be here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that every year you affect thousands of lives because of the help that you give. And we know that when we turn on the TV any day, especially these days, we are seeing somebody in court, but there are so many people who don't have legal representation. How would you explain what you do to someone who hasn't heard about your work?
Yeah, so Volunteer Lawyers for Justice has been around for 23 years. Our office is located in Newark, but many of our programs help people statewide. And what our mission is to ensure access to justice for people experiencing poverty. How we do that is that we work with our staff attorneys who are experts in civil legal issues, but also mobilize volunteers from across private practice across New Jersey to help people who really need to have their voice amplified or heard in the legal system. The part that's so hard about the legal system is that the legal system really was created by lawyers for lawyers, and most people don't have any idea what the rules are in the game. So the system seems rigged, I think, because, right, people don't know what they're supposed to do.
That's true. And even when you get a document in front of you, the legalese, it prevents many people from even understanding what's going on. So you're there to fill the gaps. Who's the audience? I mean, what's your typical type of case that you get, and how does that process work from beginning to end? Because that is a lot of work that you would put into a civil case.
So exactly. Our audience, we handle specific types of cases. So the cases that we do a lot of eviction defense work, criminal record expungement, family law, debt relief. So people have gotten, themselves into having a lot of debt, so that could be bankruptcy or representing them in special civil court. We do some education law, and then we help some population-based programs. So we help veterans with a whole host of legal issues. We help survivors of human trafficking, and we help families in Newark South Ward. And so what happens is that staff attorneys or volunteer attorneys will meet with clients. Lots of times that's virtually these days since the pandemic. So it's easy for the client as well. They don't have to take off a full day of work. And they can sit down and meet with a lawyer and ask their questions, and the lawyers will help them prepare documents, prepare pleadings for court, answer their questions, and really help them along the way.
Wow, that's amazing because it's expensive to have an attorney. I would imagine that those attorneys who are trying to meet pro bono service requirements are there on their end. Has it been easy to get them to join in what they're due? And did the pandemic slow that down at all?
So it's been really fascinating with the volunteer lawyers. The pandemic actually didn't slow down the volunteers. I think it energized them in a way because they really saw that there really are these overwhelming needs in our state. And so we work with about 550 volunteer lawyers every single year who step up and help people. Last year, they donated about $1.9 million in free services. So they haven't shown any signs of slowing down. And then it's cool because what we do is we can help lawyers who this isn't their regular practice area. So we can take people at big law firms, corporations, any stage of their legal practice. And then what we do is we train them, mentor them, support them so that they can help clients in the issues that we really support.
What do you think this says about the legal system and that there are thousands of people who really can't be a full part of it, but for organizations like yourself filling in the gaps there? I mean, it leaves a lot of people in the negative when they're trying to get the same type of justice that the next person who might have a lot of money is trying to get, but they just can't afford it.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely a problem. The playing field is definitely not level based upon economic resources that people have available. So people, it's essential for those reasons that we have organizations like Volunteer Lawyers for Justice, so that we can help to make sure that people who aren't at the highest economic levels really do still have access to the justice system.
And how do you get connected to the cases? Let's say a trafficking case, for example. Are you connected with the courts that know about your services and they often refer people to you? How do you get your cases?
Yeah, so we get them from a whole bunch of different places. So the courts would be a good starting place for a lot of cases. Social service providers are another really key partner of ours. But we also just get out into the community ourselves. We use our website to be able to have information up there for folks so that they can figure out what their rights are. We do Know Your Rights seminars out in the community, which are much more education based. So we're explaining to people what their legal rights are. And then lawyers are also a really good referral source, quite honestly, because they themselves send in a lot of cases that we get.
Right, right. Well, as we wrap, I want to make sure that people know if they do need help from you, how would they do that? How do they go about beginning that process with you?
Yeah, the best bet is for them to visit our website, which is vljnj.org. There is information on there about they can complete an online application if they'd like to do that, or they can call us. And it lists out the types of legal services that we do, and really lays out sort of how the process should work. So I think that's the best place for people to start.
All right, nice and easy. Cathy Keenan, some really great work that you are doing there. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Cathy Keenan, Executive Director of Volunteer Lawyers for Justice. And I'm Candace Kelley for Comcast Newsmakers. For more information, make sure to join us online at comcastnewsmakers.com.